Hi guys, this is a Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now this is a What If Deku is a pure-blooded exile vampire, part 6. Farewell, dear sister. Now give me a second here. Something popped up real fast. Now I'm going to change something a little bit on Izuku's who he's descended upon in the story. For right now, everyone believes that he's a descendant of Dracula, but in reality, he's a descendant of Lilith, the maker of all vampires, the mother of all vampires. You get my drift. I'm not gonna get into the whole, I could use a lot of lore with her, but it's gonna be my own custom background for her at some point. I might, add it. I'm not totally sure on that yet, but yes, everyone outside of the Vampire Council knows exactly Izuku's the Midoriya family was descendant of Lilith herself. One of Lilith's descendants turned Dracula, and that's how that works in this story. So some down the line, the Midoriya, well, they are descendants of Lilith, and outside of Izuku, the only people that know are the Vampire Council, because the rest of the Midoriyas believe they're descended to Dracula. That's a hell kept secret because the Midoriyas were already harder to deal with before. If they knew that they were descended of the mother of all vampires, then they would have a bigger ego trip. They were they probably would have been killed sooner than later if they knew their heritage fully. And because of Izuku's close ties with the council, he was granted that knowledge. And he kept it to himself because his family doesn't need to know that because they're already, bloodthirsty as it is. That will make them uncontrollable. They would demand power, and there would be a civil war at at hand if they knew their true origins. Because of Izuku's a descendant of Lilith herself, giving took a little upgrade. Because I'm only saying this because I want it to happen. So there's no really reason for this to happen like sense wise, but I just want to add it in because of Izuku's heritage. When he turned Toga, he turned her into a low grade pure blood. A low grade pure blood. Nowhere near the bottom of the pure blood ranking. So she's able to, reproduce and all that, natural stuff that a pure blood would be able to do. Normally, turns can't give birth because they're not technically alive, but pure bloods are different. They're another species altogether. And because of the degree vampire Deku is, the success rate to surviving the transition was like about 5 to 100. No, let's make it a 5 to 1,000 chance that she would survive. So Deku can't go churn a lot of people and they'll have his own clan. That's not just how that works. The chances of them surviving is very rare. Togo was just a lucky case when you come down to it. So let's start our episode off. I've already waited almost 5 minutes. A day has gone by after the last part where he was feeding on Toga because he had to survive because he was going to die if he didn't. As Ezekiel wakes up, as he just, just sits up right away, as Toga's like, easy, Ezekiel, easy. As Ezekiel looks at her, Toga, I'm glad you're alright. As she sees her neck, what, who did that? As Ezekiel's getting angry, as Toga's like, it's fine, Ezekiel. I'm fine. We didn't have much time. You were hurt very badly. Don't tell me I fed off you, Toga. As he's like, yeah, you did. And I'm fine with it. I don't know why you're being so difficult about it. It's because I let my basic instinct take over. I can't allow that to happen. As Toga's, now, look at me, Izuku. I trust you completely. I knew I was going to be all right. So you need to relax just a little bit. But what happens if I lose control? I can't allow that to happen. And Toga, puts her finger on his lips, and she's like, "Shut up, Izuku. Before you came around, I was always. Give me a second here." As he's like, "Before you came around, I've been abandoned by everyone. But you saved me, Izuku. Not only you saved me, but you made life livable again. And my priority changes. Uh, my priority changed as soon as I was turned. You are my main priority, Izuku. That will never change. Yes, I do have my obsession with blood. That will never go away, but that won't. But you come first above that of anything else." As she hugs him, as they're like, she pins him down in the bed. Izuku fell backwards as Toga hugs him. Sorry, guys, can't talk apparently. As Toga says, "Izuku Midoriya, you mean the world to me, and I'm sure to keep you. I want to keep you close." As she's blushing, much as a vampire can blush, but what are you talking about, Toga? It's like we could talk about this later, but we need to have a serious conversation. As Izuku's like, we need to figure out what we're gonna do with the remains of Miss Lulu. As Izuku didn't want to talk about this at all. As Toga grabs on his face, grabs both his cheeks. As like, look at me, Izuku. I know you were close with her, but you need to. It might be heartless of me to say this, but you need to start, moving on. I know she hasn't been dead more than a couple days. Yeah, because there's been a this time where Izuku and Toga were in the room. A couple days has passed. I know you don't want to say your goodbyes, but you need to. I can see this. I can see her death affects you very hardly, very harshly. If you ever want to talk about it, Izuku, I'm here. I'll be always here for you. As Izuku sighs, she meant the world to me, Toga. Even though she was human. She's been with me ever since we first crossed paths. She's never once betrayed me or made me think she was going to betray me. She's been behind. She's backed me up every time, no matter what I was doing. She. It's rare to see such loyalty, especially coming from a human of all things. The human race is not very trustworthy, judging by their history. I knew there was I knew there was going to be a time where I was going to have to let her go because of humans' short lifespans and how delicate they are. I just figured I would have more time. I, w- I I am not ready. I wasn't ready for me to her to part so soon. I took out, hugged Shizuku tightly. And before you ask, Toga, I'm not going to cry. It does hurt, but I'll get past this like I do everything else. But I'm definitely going to make sure something like this doesn't happen again. As Toga's, what, what are you thinking, Izuku? Don't worry, Toga. It will come clear soon enough. Everything will be all clear. As Izuku kisses her on the forehead. Toga hasn't really revealed her feelings for Izuku yet, so that whole thing hasn't set up yet. But it's getting to the point where she's going to have to. But let's continue on our story. So Toga, has the funeral arrangement in progress? As Toga's like, yes, Izuku. Miss Miss Blood, Mary, has already set everything up. When is the funeral is supposed to be, or when is it supposed to be arranged? In a couple days. Thank you, Toga, for being there for me at least. You were the only thing that's apparently left of whatever shitty afterlife I have now. Well, I guess we should probably get out of his room. I've been probably you probably driving you nuts staying in his room for so long. She stands up as Toga jumps on her feet as she tugs on his on his shirt. As what's wrong, Toga? And she's like, thank you for saving me again. As she grabs on his collar as she kisses him. As Miss Blood walks in. It's good to see her up and going, Izuku. Let's come down. Let's have a. I think the rest of us is ready. Sorry, give me a second here. I totally forgot what I was going to say. I need to inform you of the arrangements in a couple days. Of course, Miss Blood. I'll be down here in a second. Of course. As she shuts the door. Ah, it's like kids. As she goes down, walking downstairs with her daughter, and her husband's not home right now, so doing business. So not sure who I like. I was gonna make it Azal, but I'm not totally sure on that yet. I'll rethink it. See if I can come up with a better idea. I mean, he's the closest thing to a vampire you see in Hero Academia by his looks, because he looks like a freaking vampire. But let's continue. Ezekiel gets down with Toga as he sees Miss Blood on a table as she gestures them to sit. As she hands him a bunch of paperwork. As Ezekiel signs off a lot of things. It's like that's pretty much about it. The ceremony will be in a couple of days. But I am curious, why would you go? Why would you go so much trouble for a human of all things? Yeah, I know she was serving you, but I've never seen our kind go so far for a human. As Suzuki's like, she might be human, but she was like a sister to me. That's all. That's all you need to know. And she's like, very well, Izuku. I just find it interesting. You're an odd one. What my so-called parents constantly told me growing up. Nothing I haven't heard before. Thank you, Miss Blood, and thank you for your hospitality. No problem. Why don't you rest until the funeral happens? Then we'll discuss what to do from then on. Miss Blood, I also want to after the funeral. I want an audience with Her Majesty herself. I want to discuss something with her. And she's Interesting. I'll set the meeting. I have no problem. What for, may I ask? I, me being in a unactive role, it's no longer good enough. I want to be a more active piece. Not active piece. Let's say, I want to be a more active subject to Her Majesty. And this idea I have would be a good first start. And she's like, very well. I'll relay the message. It'll be up to Queen to if she wants to meet you or not. She's a busy woman after all. As she walks off, as we time skip a couple days, as everyone's at the funeral, it's a mixture. Actually, pretty much all of them are vampires, basically. As Toga catches scent, Izuku, yeah, Toga, humans approaching. As Izuku sees, they're outside. As a limo, pulls up. Well, they can't see the limo, but Izuku could tell a vehicle as he see a well-built man with a beard. It's Endeavor, if you guys haven't noticed, because she was working at Endeavor agency, so he would make a clear attempt to show respect towards his late employee, because she was very good what she was doing there. She kept everything in top ship shape. So she made a impression on the Todoroki family. Now, in this timeline, Endeavor, never like Ray never, went crazy and abused her kid. So Todoroki doesn't have a scar. He's not the best dad in the world. He's still obsessed with training, but not to the degree that he was in canon. After Dobby's death, that changed Endeavor, how he went about raising his kids, and he slowly started building a actual relationship with his own wife. So that's how this is going to roll. As Ray and I think his name is Enji Todoroki. Not totally sure on that. As Endeavor and his wife walks up, as Ray introduces herself. Hi, I'm Ray Todoroki, and this is my husband, Ren Todoroki. I don't know like what his Enji I think it is, but I'm not totally sure on that. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll get into it. We'll continue the story anyways. Nice to meet you. So you must be from the Hero Agency. I am Izuku Midoriya. As Ray smiles, Lulu, condolence on your loss. She she wasn't at our my husband's agency that long, but we did talk a lot. She was a lovely girl, a lovely woman. Are you her son? No, I'm. She was my sister, my older sister. My family adopted her in Romania. Ever since my family's passing, me and her's been. She's been with me. I've been with her the whole time. She was very excited to work at the agency she's working with. She seemed to enjoy her time there. Well, at least she had that. It's very nice to meet you, Mr. Todoroki and Mrs. Todoroki. As Ray looks over, as she sees the blonde standing next to Izuku, and she's like, "Who are you? What's your name, dear?" As Toga grabs Izuku's hand. I'm Toga Himiko. I am Izuku's girlfriend. As Toga smiles happily as, it's very nice to meet you, Toga. As you know, they they give their respect towards the grave or what shrine or how they do it in Japan. I know they don't do it. They don't do it the same way Americans do it. So different. I totally forget the word. Different cultures and religion. So it. I don't. Never been to Japan, so I don't know. So as an Endeavor, as before Endeavor leaves, young Midoriya, was it? Yes, sir. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call me. As he hands his card, I like to look after my employees and their families. Thank you, Mr. Endeavor. Oh, Mr. Todoroki. If if I require any assistance, you'll be the first one I call. Again, sorry for your loss. Most appreciated, sir. As they go off, as Toga, tugs Izuku. I think it. I think it's time, Izuku. I guess you're right. I'll be. I'm not going to leave your side, Izuku. I'll be here the whole time. As Izuku walks over to the grave. Everyone, everyone's, pretty much gone. The only reason the vampires were there because they want to show respect towards Izuku, because he is a pureblood. They don't know how high of a pureblood he is, but they could tell he comes from ancient stuff. Hi, sis. I know your death wasn't pleasant. If I was stronger, I would have been able to stop it. But I know you were always telling me, don't bother with um with things you have no control over. But it still bugs me. But but I'm doing fine at least for now. Toga's been taking care of me of all things. The maker being taken care of by the person he made. It's ironic. The girl means well. I know you told me that girl has, some sort of feelings towards me, and I've picked up on it. I just don't know how about to go about that. That's a new territory for me altogether. I've never, outside of you, you're the only person I've been, semi close to. I still remember when the first time we met. As we cut to a flashback, as we cut to a wilderness area in Romania, as there's several hooded figures, as one of them comes in the middle, as he takes off his hood. All right, we were given our orders. Bunch of little upstarters decide to stir the pot a little bit, kidnapping several humans. Our orders are by the council is to silence to silence all vampire threats. And I'll handle the humans. After all, as the council always said, it is my specialty, apparently. Go. As all the hooded vampire figures start running off, as they're all heading towards the abandoned church. As as we cut to the scenery where he's investigating, as all the vampires in hoods jump onto the roof, as they're looking down on the scene where they see what's going on. As you have several vampires dragging humans, as they're beginning to start draining them dry. As as Ezekiel sees a young girl, like around 14, black hair, bruised up, very fatigued, like she hasn't ate in a long time. She's in no condition to be drained, being fed upon, because there's not much blood in her. So as Ezekiel sees the vampires killing off her whole family, they kidnapped her whole family and had a little feast. As Ezekiel, I've seen enough. Kill them all. Leave the human to me, like I ordered. Move it. As all the vampires crush in, as they immediately start taking out the other vampires one by one. As he jumps down, as he sees all the vampires see the scene as they're all being taken out, as Ezekiel only he says, bring me the leader, alive. Yes, sir. As they drag the leader over there, they bend him down. You meager insect. As he backhands the vampire in the face. We give you eternal life. We give you such an amazing gift. And this is what you do with it? You know the laws. No feasting. And that's not including the abduction of a whole family. Your punishment, there's no way around it. Half-breed, you're dead. As the vampire spits in his face, as he takes, as he one of his people hands him, a rag or whatever, a handkerchief, as he wipes out his face. Uh, I guess I guess you can't teach an insect, new tricks. Once a cockroach, always a cockroach. As he pulls out a gun, as the vampire laughs, what's the gun gonna do to me? It won't kill me. This one will. It's because it's loaded with sun bullets. As he shoots him in the head, as you see the bullet enter his brain, as all you can see is a bright light in his body, as his eye starts glowing, and his mouth starts glowing as the corpse, dissolve into dust. All right, leave no survivors. As he sees a girl hovered in a little ball, as she was quite abused because of these, feral vampires, I guess you call them. They're not really feral, but they're not doing things that they're supposed to be doing. Feeding on a human is one thing, but abducting the whole family, that will get people to ask questions and start looking into things that they shouldn't be looking into, and in turn could expose the existence of vampires in this country. So the council doesn't want nothing like that. So they're being very clearly that they want everything cleaned, no survivors. As he's accused, as one of the dead vampire, well, as she picks up a knife that was laying on the ground, as she points it at Ezekiel, as Ezekiel says, smiles. Don't worry, little human. I'm not here to hurt you. And she's like, I don't trust you. You're one of those monsters. You're gonna kill me, like my parents. As Ezekiel's walking closer, as several of the vampires hold their guns at the girl, as Ezekiel puts his hand up and basically tells them to stand down. No one hurts this. No one hurts the human. Am I clear? Yes, sir. I'm gonna get a little closer. Don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you. If I wanted you dead, you would be dead by now. Mortal. What happened to you and your family? That was never supposed to happen. Might want to sit down. You're very weak, I could tell by the look of you. And the smell. As she's, waving back and forth, and she's still holding a knife. As she suddenly fell forward. As Ezekiel catches her, picks her up. As Ezekiel placed the young human somewhere safe at his own personal manner that he doesn't. Oh, sorry, not his family manner, but his manner, because his family would kill her right away if they found a human in their at their lodging. So he has his own separate place he stays at outside of his family because he doesn't trust them. So as Ezekiel walks forward, as all the councils notice Ezekiel, good. Is it done? Yes. What about the humans? All of them were killed except for one. I very good. Did you eradicate the human as well? Did I hope you didn't leave her alive. Of course I left her alive, sir. What you mean you left the human alive? I order you to kill her. She knows of our existence. You know that could have dire consequences. I understand, Council, but I refuse. What? Do I need to remind you, Council, who I'm a descendant of? I'm far more powerful than all of you put together. I could easily take you all out. If you allow me to take this human, I will owe the council a favor, any favor, even if you asked me to kill my own family, I would oblige. Your choice. Your choice. You either could agree willingly, or I'm going to have to get less pleasant. As they're a whisper, fine, but the girl's your responsibility. If she exposed our existence, it is your duty to take her out. Of course, Council. I would never, put the existence of our species on the on would endanger our existence to the humans. But the damage has already been done, and I don't think killing her would be the best choice in this current situation. I'll take my leave. As a younger Lulu wakes up from being rescued by Izuku, flashback and all. So this is when she's younger. I think I said she was like 14 or 15. Around there. And in the story, when I induced her, she was in her like late 20s, so almost 30. So she was like around 28, 29 when she died. But let's continue our story. As she wakes up, as she's freaking out, she doesn't have like much energy. As she's trying to get up, as Ezekiel, calm, relax, human, you're fine. And she looks at him like suspiciously, yelling at him like, "What the hell is this? Relax, I'm not going to hurt you. In fact, I'm here to make sure you get all nice into you get some food in you at least. Can't imagine, you must be starving." As he rolls a tray over with some food, as she looks at the food suspiciously, "Relax, human. I didn't poison it or anything. I don't need to poison you, human, to get what I want if I wanted it." And she, "What do you mean by that? You already know. You already been exposed to my kind, so I might as well tell you the rest. I am a vampire. Those people that butchered your family were a lower grade vampire. I'm more civilized than they are. I don't let my basic instinct take control of me. I'm not that weak." But unfortunately for you, because of you learner resistance, your fate was uncertain. And she's like, what do you mean by that? It means if I didn't stick my neck out for you, you would have been most likely drained or dead. Well, you've been dead regardless, but drained first, then dead. But considering how I took ownership of you, she's like, ownership? No one like owns me. She throws the tray at Ezekiel. Ah, at least you finished your food before you threw your tray at me. Listen, you don't really have a choice here. That was the only way for me to, save you from save you from save you from dying. I know it's not ideal, but your life from how you know it, it's over. There's no going back there. And if you decide to squeal or tell anyone, we'll be forced to kill you and kill anyone that you told. I'm not trying to say this to intimidate you, human. I'm just giving you straight up. This is how things are. This is how things the world. This is how your new world works right now. Don't worry. I'm not going to dictate what you do, what you wear, what you eat. That's totally up to you. But your responsibilities from today on forward is taking me any location that I want, making sure I have enough blood. As she holds her neck, I don't do that. What is your name, by the way? Human? I don't want to keep calling you human. It's so formal. No, that won't do. That won't do at all. I think it's closer. And she's like, can you step away? I will once you tell me your name. It's Lulu. Well, Lulu, your responsibility is to drive me and to inform me of any important information and to make sure I'm well fed. Don't worry, I don't feed from humans. I have more respect than that. Lulu's like, what do you mean you don't feed from humans? Exactly. I don't feed from humans, period. I never have, and I don't see myself doing anytime soon. Think of think of it like this. You're technically my secretary. As she took offense by that. Well, it's either that or my servant. It's your choice. And she's like, secretary, it's fine. Well, that's good. And considering how you're mine now, you're my human, you're under my protection. No vampire, no matter what ranking they are, can't touch you. If they do, I'll rip their fucking head off. Beyond that, we'll be fine. You need a rest. I'll be looking after you till you gain enough strength to be healthy to do activities. As she's like, where are we? My own personal house. Ever since I split off from my family. And she's like, why didn't you take me to your family house? You seem alright for a bloodthirsty monster. As my family's not so nice to your race. If I left you there, you'd be dead by the morning. Their time together with Izuku, it started off really slow, but suddenly, after a while, she started getting more friendly towards Izuku. And Izuku, becomes a lot more cordial with her. He starts to open up slowly to her. And a friendship starts building, and that friendship builds into a brother. She sees him as, a younger brother, even though technically she knows he's been around for a while, vampire and all. So she finally, she knew that she's dealing with a vampire that killed her family. She hates vampires, but she has a hard time trying to hate Izuku because Izuku saved her. Not only that, but guarantees safety after her family massacre. Oh, good, you're up, Lulu. Izuku, sir, what's going on? I have to visit my family. Mother wants to talk to me. She said it's been too long. It, despite my mother's a total psychopath, she does deep down does care. Even though she has an odd way of showing it. But let's go. Let's be careful. If anything if anything happens to you while you're there, yell. I'll come. I'll be right there in an instant. Sister, don't give me that look, Lulu. I know it sounds weird, even coming from me, but you're been more of a sister to me than my own sisters have. They're not. Yeah, they have their own problems. That's just a nice way to say it, knowing my family. After all, I'm technically what my mom constantly calls me, the black sheep of the family. Because I don't act normal, according to her. Just because I don't want to massacre hundreds of humans just for fun, it means I'm not normal. Anyways, let's get going, Lulu. As they enter car, as they drive, as they get to the manor, as he doesn't like how his one of his brothers eyeing Lulu, as he's, I know that look. You touch her, you're dead. No, he's like, if you touch her, I'll rip your fucking arm off. As he's like, whatever, but Izuku. As he goes, all right, I have mother wants to talk to me alone. So if anything happens, call and stay away from my brother. He's a sadistic piece of crap. Okay, Izuku. As as Izuku, he spent about 30 minutes talking to his mother. His mother was talking his ear off. Seriously, mother, you need to keep the family's bloodlust to a minimum. The council's already on edge. If you cause any more trouble, the council will put you down. They'll they'll order our whole family into internal sleep, no matter who we're ascended to or not. As Herman was like, I highly doubt they would do something, Silver Ash. They should be grateful that we allow them to rule. We could easily take over. Mother, I don't need you to have a bring a coup around a civil war. That's the last thing we need. As Izuku hears something, as he rushes out, as he sees Lulu pinned to a wall, as her brother is about to bite down her neck, as Izuku grabs him by the back of the head, slams him against the wall. As Lulu's freaking out, as Izuku grabs her by the face, "Are you right, Lulu?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Stay there." Oh, apparently me and my brother need to have a heart to heart. As Izuku's like, "What the hell, Izuku? I don't know why you should. I don't know why you care. It's just a human. By by all rights, that human should be mine. I'm the firstborn." I don't think so, brother. Mr. Firstborn. That's my human. And anyone hurts my human gets made an example of. As he's like, "What? I highly doubt you have the strength. I'm the firstborn. I'm far more powerful than you. I've, I'm far more powerful than you. I was born first." As Ezekiel, as he appears in front of his brother, grabs him by the face, slams him against the wall. As he lifts him up by the head, grabbing his face, by the way, still. As he turns around, as he sees everyone's, noticed the noises as they all rushing out. Apparently, I need to make my, I need to be more direct in this my approach this time. Mom, Dad, brothers and sisters, let make myself perfectly clear. You see that human right there? As they like, yeah, she's off limits. That's my human. And anyone harms physically, or sorry, harms them intentionally or unintentionally, I will kill them. No matter, I will beat you in eternal sleep. No matter who you are, you're either even if you're my mother, my father, or any of my siblings. Do I make myself clear? As they're like, yeah. As they haven't really had much experience with Ezekiel because he's being very forceful about this. Now, apparently, I need to give a little demonstration, and my lovely older brother is going to be my example. You shouldn't have bruised her neck. As he rips off his arm, throws him against the wall. As he starts screaming, that hurt. As Ezekiel kicks him, imprint him into the wall further. And that's for scaring her. I'll tell what I told Mother. You keep your urges in check, or the next time we meet, I might be the one kill. Sorry. Next time we meet, I won't be so friendly. Because the council's already sick and tired of your little outings, like you call them. The humans are getting suspicious. If you endanger the vampire species, I will be forced. They will order me to put you down. And I will. This is your final warning. It's your first and final warning. Stay in line. As he slams the door. As they're driving back, are you right, Ezekiel? I'm fine. I just don't see why I even bother. They're hell bent on me killing them for some reason. The council's going to do it. After all, I gave them the power. As she's like, what do you mean? In order to save you when I saved you that day, I had to promise them a favor for me, even if it meant killing my family. And they've been wanting to kill my family off for a good while. They're threatened by my family, by their potential. They could easily take over. And let's say that won't end well, judging by how they like to do things with your species. It's only a matter of time before they do something stupid, and I'm gonna have to put them down. But I'm more worried about you. Are you alright? It's like, I'm fine, Izuku. Your brother wasn't delicate. He's only reason he's alive is because he's my brother. Anyone else did that to you, they would be dead. As we cut to the end of the flashback, as you have Ezekiel has his hand on the tombstone. Guess this is goodbye, sister. I am gonna miss you. And I'm gonna do what you suggested to me a while back ago. Your idea. It was quite intriguing. I'm gonna have to implement it. I will not let something like this happen to you to happen to anyone else. I'll promise you that. Goodbye, my sister. as he walks away with Toga. As we're going to, no, we have. Sorry, guys, we have to continue a little bit further, a little bit further on. As we cut, as we cut back to Romania, in a old crypt, as you see several hooded figures in a circle, as each of them in a certain area of a pentagram made out of blood, as they're chanting. After some chanting, a compartment opened up, and that little thing in the middle there, like a little slide door opens up, or area, as it's a big metal box. As one of them picks it up, as all the figure leaves, walking, not mischievous, very suspicious like. Now the ceremony was just to unlock what's inside the small box. Someone clearly put it there, didn't want to be found. But, shit happened, so things are about to heat up now. But as the hooded figure walks into the council chambers, good. Did you what was it there? Yes, council. Give it to us. Give it to me now. As the vampire man smiles, finally, we can finally get things back in the working order. Back to tradition. And where we belong, on top. Tired of this whole secrecy thing. It's irritating. We are the superior species. They're our livestock. But with this, we can finally awaken. Sorry, we could finally revive Lilith, our mother. As they're very Lilith worshippers. So when it comes to there's a lot of vampire groups that worship Lilith as a god, the very first. Who better yet to kill a Lilith descendant by sending Lilith herself? As the man starts to laugh maniacally, as we going to stop this episode. Yeah, that's a good spot to leave it off. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones. All right, bye.